I know I tend to upset people when I paint over the existing wood, so here is my warning. I'm going to use paint and wallpaper, no demo, to make this room look like a completely different space. Since this floor is staying, I just used a grout pen to freshen up the grout lines. I used a kit for painting the cabinets and just followed the instructions step by step. I removed the hardware and used crud cutter over the entire thing. Then I tested a small area to make sure I didn't need to do additional sanding. I painted a small square, and once that was dry, I scored an X in the paint and then used painter's tape to see if any of the paint came up when I removed it. Since it didn't, I didn't have to do additional sanding. I was just able to go straight to paint. I used these door stackers again to make my life easier. I went with smoky beige. When painting cabinets or trim of any kind, I use a microfiber roller first, and I roll it in tape to make sure that all the fuzzies are removed completely before using. I then follow that roller with a dry foam roller to get rid of any brush strokes in the paint. That second coat is always the best. I made sure to follow the guidelines for all dry time in between coats. Then step 3, the top coat. I don't think you can ever have too much protection, so I did 2 layers. You could even do more if you wanted to. When that layer dried, I reattached all of the cabinet doors and then moved on to the rest of the room. I swapped out the lighting. The new light is very heavy and a pain to install, but very worth it. I decided to prime the walls for wallpaper. I've heard mixed things about whether this works or not, but I figured it couldn't hurt. This is my first time doing real pasted wallpaper. There's a debate on whether you paste the back of the wallpaper or the wall. I folded the wallpaper over onto itself for a few minutes before applying it to the wall. I believe this is called booking and is supposed to prevent bubbles. I probably should have applied more paste to the back, but I didn't want it all oozing out the sides, but that left me with seams that needed to be repaired. So I was grateful for the seam repair kit that I got. This wallpaper is from Anthropologie and is very nice quality wallpaper, but they did not line up perfectly at the seams, which drove me nuts. I ended up going in with a paintbrush and some acrylic paint to fix all the spots that I knew would bother me if I kept them. At first, I assumed it was user error since this was my first time doing wallpaper, but there were some leaves straight up missing from the pattern, so I think it's just this paper. Working the wallpaper around the doors was a pain. The corners were a bit of a pain, but the rest of the wallpaper went up very smoothly. More touch-ups. There's the leaf that was missing. Then I got to decorate and bring the whole room together. I actually swapped out this print but didn't record it. I was able to put the new hooks directly over the holes from the old ones. I then realized that the white grout lines did not fit in the room anymore, so I went back over with an almond color. It looked so much better. We've never had a mudroom before, so we feel so lucky to have this space. I know a lot of people would prefer the wood cabinets, but I just didn't love the cherry color, and the smoky beige paint just ties into the wallpaper so well. I really couldn't be happier with how it turned out.